All right, top of the morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday. Ready for week 2 here. This is the JoeyBets podcast. We've got NFL picks out there. We're going NFL picks every Thursday. I'm gonna hit you guys up with at least some player props out there. My picks for the day. We're gonna go through each of them every game one by one, right? And we're just going to go over the full scoreboard and see what we're going through now. We've got no technical difficulties unlike the last video, right? We're going to be able to see everything here. Behind me right here is my JB Big Board. The JB Big Board is basically what we're going to be going off of. This is posted on my Instagram, so if you guys do not have time for the video, I completely understand. Time crunch right here. We just basically put up the picks for the week, and then our player props, our favorite player props. So going back to this board, looking at what we have here, we've got Washington and the Packers playing today at Green Bay, right? Getting right into it. No time for any hoopla here. I don't really get into the news. We just go into straight picks and all that good stuff. Looking at last week's picks, we had 11 for 15 out of our prop bets. That's about a 73% hit rate. We hit $450 profit on last week's bets, so we're going right back at it today. Today we got Commanders at the Packers, and both of them coming off of a win. Very good game overall. I really like the Packers in this one. The Packers home record under Matt LaFleur is just amazing, right? And what they've done, what they did to Detroit, knowingly Detroit doesn't have the coordinators that they used to have, right? They're just going off of the head coach. I just really feel like Green Bay is going to take care of this game. Jordan Love, I really feel like he'll find his receiver, his happy receiver today. I have Green Bay minus 2.5. The line has gone up to 3.5. You can also throw alternate lines out there. I've got a bet out there for minus 2.5 on the Packers. We're running on that. Basically on the big board, it does say that. And then my player prop. The player prop for the Packers and Commanders has to be Josh Jacobs. It has to be Josh Jacobs. Anytime touchdown. There's a Russian receiving touchdown. Maybe a goblin, but this is the play for today. You also look at Tucker Kraft, right? Tucker Kraft, tight end. Washington doesn't play the tight ends very well. You've got Zach Ertz on the other side, another tight end. Green Bay is really big on the blitz. It might leave the middle open. So Zach Ertz, Tucker Kraft, Josh Jacobs on the touchdown. I really like those as far as receptions go. I also like Austin Eckler on 2 receptions, but overall, the pick for me has to be Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown for this one. So going into Sunday's games, the 10 a.m. games, we've got first off on the board, we've got Giants at Cowboys. The Cowboys did a very great job against the Eagles, even though they did lose, right? Not really what we've seen out of the Cowboys these last few years to start the season, so I really like it. Honestly, I really love Dallas coming into this game. The biggest prop that I have for right here is Dak Prescott with 2 passing touchdowns, right? The big takeaway from last week's game is that they have a rusher. They have someone that can run the ball right now with Javonte Williams coming out of Denver. That's going to be their number 1 back. Going into the season, you can expect Javonte Williams to rack up some yards. I believe it's Javonte. Hold on. Let's see. I have Javonte over 56.5. Now, I would go a lower line. If you can find him at 50 yards rushing, I feel like the Cowboys are going to win this game by a heavy amount, too. So, expect Javonte Williams to have some runs at the end of the game to basically kill down some clock, right? Russell Wilson will have to pass the ball more than 37 times against the Cowboys. It's just what this offense is going to go through. Basically, they're going to play from behind. So I can see Russell Wilson. Basically, let's see what his attempts are at, right? Because that's the only thing I really trust Russell Wilson with on my team is attempts. Refresh this bad boy. But yeah, we have a lot of picks out there. Big on the Cowboys, big on the Dak Prescott 2 touchdowns. Even big on getting CeeDee Lamb one of those touchdowns, right? They missed the end zone last week. I could really see it happening this week. So let's go ahead and get you that information. We had Russell Wilson on pass attempts. Russell Wilson. Let's just type in Russell. There we go. Russell Wilson on 30 pass attempts. He's going to pass more than 30 times. I don't see the Giants winning this game. I see them playing from behind. I could see this being a big one right here. The 30 pass attempts. He has multiple games with 30 pass attempts. Russell Wilson. This could be a lock right here, right? Not on the board, but it's something where, definitely going to write it down. Definitely going to keep an eye on it. Russell Wilson pass attempts will go over. Dak Prescott 2 touchdowns will hit, right? So those two are pretty much locks in that game. Going into the next game that we have on the board, we've got Jags and Bengals. Jags and Bengals. This is a hard one to call, honestly. I have the Bengals creeping one out against the Jags. I'm big on Travis Etienne. My big one is Travis Etienne receiving yards. The Bengals give up a lot of yards on the ground to running backs, and since Cincinnati's going to be in the lead, right? You want to get your playmaker some plays, right? I don't see Jacksonville running the ball too much with that pass attempt, that high octane pass offense of the Bengals. I don't see Cincinnati being able to defend a pass back, right? So this is something that I really like. 3 for 13 in the regular season. He has games where he has multiple receiving yards. The 13 receiving yards is a fluke. You have 15 against Miami, 17 against Buffalo, 43 against Indy. This is last season, right? Looking at it, 29 against Indy, 26. Beginning of the season, he is hitting a lot of receiving yards, right? Right now, his receiving yards are sitting at Travis Etienne at 14 and a half. 14 and a half. Now, if Travis Etienne plays like he did last week, which I expect him to, RB1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I can see that being well over the 14 and a half receiving yards. So Travis Etienne is a banger. That's going to hit all day. But I still think Cincinnati creeps away with a win, right? Going into this Cleveland and Baltimore game, Baltimore's going to win. Now, look at this right here. It's a minus 900 odd, right? Now, if you have Indy to win, right? You have Atlanta to win. You have a whole bunch of underdogs, and you throw this minus 900, and they don't end up winning. It doesn't make much of a difference, right? So in this game, I don't like betting. I really don't like betting these games. Minus 900 isn't going to give me nothing. And honestly, it's going to take a lot of guts for me to go with the Browns over the Ravens after what Josh Allen just did to them last week. Cleveland, very big team, very up-and-coming team. Joe Flacco has this team on lock, honestly. I really like their new running back that they have out of Tennessee, Dylan Sampson. I really like him on receptions. I don't see him on receptions over here. They haven't thrown him up there, or else I would have it up there. But this is not on my board. There's nothing as far as Dylan Sampson receptions on Prize Picks. Let's check out Underdog Fantasy. I really love Dylan Sampson coming into this Browns. Yeah, see? Rush touchdowns, receiving touchdowns. So if you see receptions for Dylan Sampson, receiving yards for Dylan Sampson, throw it down. Throw it down when you see it. You'll probably see it on Saturday night going into Sunday morning. They usually don't leave these players like this, but when you can't call the line, sorry, something fell. When you can't call the line, when you can't really predict what's going to happen, or you're afraid to put up a line where, someone's going to tail it, someone's going to figure it out. Dylan Sampson is that guy. Dylan Sampson's that guy, so keep an eye on him. But yeah, overall, with this one, I really like. Let's see, what did I have? I don't really have anything for this game. Honestly, looking at it, I didn't really bet this game too much, but I can see Lamar Jackson going for some rushing yards. Myles Garrett's going to be in the middle a lot. He's going to be disrupting the pocket a lot. This is Myles Garrett. This is the defensive player of the year, right? And especially in an AFC North matchup, you're going to see a lot of rushes to the quarterback. So I can see a lot of opportunity for Lamar Jackson rush yards, but honestly, Dylan Sampson's my guy. I really like him in this one. Oh, Jerry Jeudy. There we go. Where is he at? Jerry Jeudy should be up here somewhere. I have him on my big board. He's a huge contributor, especially against Baltimore, right? Looking at Judy's line, we're going to go over it. Joe Flacco to Jerry Jeudy is an amazing combination. You have 66 against Cincinnati, but going into last year, let's go into the games that he played Baltimore, right? He had 79 on 8 targets and 5 receptions, longest reception at 30 yards last October, and then game 1 against Baltimore, he had 63 yards on 13 targets, six receptions, right? Jerry Jeudy's going to be a big part of this offense. Joe Flacco's going to throw to Jerry Jeudy a lot, right? And honestly, expecting that they'll be down. What are the Ravens, like a -6.5? 11.5 point spread. So if you're up 11.5 points, or if you're down 11.5 points, you're not going to be running the ball. You're going to be throwing the ball. You're going to be throwing the ball, trying to get your best receiver involved in this offense. I really like Jerry Jeudy on 50+ yards, 60+ yards, even ladder him up to about 80+. Honestly, I really love Jerry Jeudy in this one. That's one of my favorite picks. So Jerry Jeudy and Dak Prescott, 2 favorite picks right now, right off the bat. All right, going into the next game, we've got, let's see, Bears at Lions. Let's go. Bears at Lions. Let's go into this game, see what's going on. Ben Johnson is coming back. Ben Johnson's coming back to Detroit, head coach of the Bears, doing an amazing job down there. Honestly, making Caleb Williams look like a quarterback, right? Because he didn't come in the league looking like one, right? But I see Detroit just winning this game outright. I don't see them covering the spread. -6.5, 7 points is a lot, especially in a division game. The Bears played some defense, right? Minnesota played some defense until, their quarterbacks left them out there way too long on the field, and then the defense gets tired as the game goes along, right? So that Chicago-Minnesota game, I'm not going to say it was a fluke, because it really did show a lot of Chicago's issues, right? A lot of Minnesota's issues, which we'll get into a little bit later. But Detroit, overall, they have a bad taste in their mouth, and they're not going to lose 2 in a row, especially under the head coach that they have right now. They are not going to lose 2 in a row under Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's going to light a fire up there, and he's going to really get them going. So my biggest takeaway is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, 24.5 receiving yards. I really like that one. Let's go into Jahmyr Gibbs against the Bears. I just feel like he has to be involved in this offense, right? And that was one of the things that they missed last game, on 9 carries for 19 yards. Not much, 10 receptions. He had 10 receptions for 31 yards, right? So they're desperately trying to get Jahmyr Gibbs involved in this offense, right? And who better to do it than the Bears, right? So look at Jahmyr Gibbs last year against the Bears. You're looking at you're looking at 9 rushes for 87 yards. You've got 4 targets, 2 receptions for 17 yards, and then you've got 5 receptions for 45 yards, 23 rushes for 109 at Chicago, right? I just really like this game. I really like this game for Jahmyr. I really like him at home in this game. You can see the Montgomery touchdown. Montgomery touchdown may happen, but Gibbs on the receiving yards, on the total yards, rush and receive, maybe even a touchdown, right? I can see the tight end getting a touchdown more than Jahmyr Gibbs, but he's going to eat. He's going to be involved in this offense, and he's going to be a part of this offense a lot more than what he was against Green Bay, right? All right, so going into that one, that was the Chicago-Detroit game that we have. Dipping into Rams-Titans. Rams-Titans is going to be the next one. I like the Rams here. Me personally, I threw a bet in Vegas for Kansas City. I'm a Kansas City fan. We threw Kansas City against the Rams. Just complete matchup. The best head coaches in the NFL. You've got McVay on that side. You've got Andy Reid on the other side. I just really like the Rams here. Matt Stafford's throwing the ball. He's really throwing the ball. And then one thing to look out for, right? These are crazy numbers right here as far as longest reception. Longest reception for Devontae Adams in 1 reception. He's going to have 22 yards, right? You look at Puka. Puka Nakua's longest reception right now is at 26 yards. All right, that's 47 yards off of 2 pass completions, right? And this guy Stafford, he's gonna throw. He's gonna throw. This defense is gonna force him to throw, right? Kyron will get some on the ground. I really like Kyron Williams anytime touchdown. That's a big one too. But overall, I really like Stafford on the yards. Stafford on the yards, 238.5, and he just threw 245 against Houston, which is a lot better of a defense. Unless the Rams go up double digits and they start feeding the ball to Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, I could really see Stafford going over on the yards here, especially with his receivers banking that much on one reception. That's 47 yards and 2 receptions. You do the math here. It's going to take, 50, 100, 200. That's about 6-7 completions of over that amount, right? So 7 completions over 40 yards, we're going to go freaking 250, 280, right? So he's going to hit his pass yards. I really like Matthew Stafford. The math isn't there, but the Matthew is there, right? We're going into it. Let's get into it a little bit deeper. Going to the next game, I've got Patriots-Dolphins. Patriots-Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins are on a spiraling plane going downward, right? Their stock is very down. Mike McDaniels will be fired by the end of the season. Hopefully, Tyreek Hill gets traded to Kansas City, and then, we start seeing some wins out there in Kansas City. But I just really feel like it's 100% code red. Just overall, it's not the best situation. I have Waddle on the under. We're fading Waddle. We have 46.5 receiving yards. I just don't see that happening against Christian Gonzalez, a healthy Christian Gonzalez, and the Patriots team that just lost to the Raiders, which I still to this day, as a Patriots fan, right? If you lose to the Raiders, or as a Patriots organization, you lose to the Raiders, you have some kind of taste in your mouth, right? I can see Drake May coming out, doing an amazing job, really touching it down. I've got Kayshon Boutte, Jason Boutte, Boutte, right? I've got him at 36.5 receiving yards. I've got him over on that. I really feel like New England's going to light it up in Miami, and they're not going to look back, right? They're going to really test out their offense. They're going to make Miami an example, right? And this is what they're going to do. Drake May is going to start off heavy in the pass, play action run, right? You're going to see a lot of Travion Henderson, but until they stop passing, that's when you'll see a lot more Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson. Remember, he's still there. But overall, I see Drake May doing an amazing job. I see Drake May really putting it in for the team, and New England to win by 1 million, right? Let's say 1 million. Going into the next game, we've got Niners-Saints, and this is my favorite pick of the day. The Niners just mentioned, we got it yesterday. We put in the Kelsey pick, the free pick on Prize Picks. We tied it in with CMC, Christian McCaffrey, right? Christian McCaffrey last night was sitting at 78.5 rushing yards. They just announced that Brock Purdy is not going to be playing the game, right? Mac Jones is going to be starting this game. And let me just show you something about Christian McCaffrey. Now, everyone's saying he's coming off an injury. Is he healthy? Is he ready to really lift the team on his shoulders? Let's remember, he's playing New Orleans. He's playing New Orleans. San Francisco is going to win this game with or without Brock Purdy, honestly. And this is the smartest thing to do, is to sit him, because you don't really need him in this game. This guy, Christian McCaffrey, just got 22 carries on 69 yards against Seattle in a very pivotal NFC West game, right? He just took the win. They just took the win after feeding McCaffrey the ball 22 times, right? Now, if they lost, it would be a different story. But looking at the game log for McCaffrey, he had 22 yards going into last season, unhealthy season, right? 22 carries, 13 carries, 19 carries, 11 carries, 7 carries. Nothing last season no game last season did he carry the ball 22 times, right? Going into 2023, into his last time that he carried 22 times in the Super Bowl. Most important game out there, right? You've got 22 against Pittsburgh. You've got 21. So this is when he was the premier back, right? So just saying right now in 2025 week 1, even with any kind of injury doubtful, the injury report that he had, he still had 22 carries. He's going to get 22 carries. He gets 22 carries against New Orleans. It's going to happen. Something's going to happen, right? He's going to get over 100 yards rushing. I could see 100 total yards for sure, for a fact. Right now, I have him set up with the Kelsey pick. I'm going to show you one of my lineups here. We've got him set up with the Kelsey pick for 78.5 yards. Now, if you look for him today, he'll probably be at 81, somewhere around there. Take it. Take it. He's gonna get 100 yards rushing. And they're going to feed him the ball at the end of the game, too. Christian McCaffrey is really going to go off, and he's at 81, right? So he's 3 more yards than what we had him at yesterday. Do yourself a favor, because at the end of the day on Sunday, when the games begin, he's going to be sitting at 85.5, 86.5, 89.5, right? Your demon is 99, 109. It goes up to 109, right? You're going to see 100 yards. You're going to see at least 96, right? We're going to see that out of Christian McCaffrey, maybe even a touchdown, right? So lock them both in. That's my favorite pick for the week. Going a little bit deeper into the slate, like I said, I like San Francisco. I like Christian McCaffrey. And I really feel like they're going to do something big here. And Christian McCaffrey is going to get back into that MVP column, RB1 conversation, right? So going into it, Bills at Jets. The Bills are going to destroy the Jets. Now, I feel like it's kind of hard to go away and after a game you just played, really big electricity, really big hype, a lot of fans there at Buffalo, but like you're not going very far, right? You're going from New York to New Jersey. You are basically going to a team where you've owned for the previous few years. One of my biggest plays for today has to be the James Cook receiving yards. James Cook is sitting somewhere around 10 and a half. It's very disrespectful, James Cook's receiving yards. It was at 13 and a half, right? What did we take him at? Let's see. What did we take James Cook at? We took James Cook at 10 and a half receiving yards, right? That line is way too low, right? So if you find him anywhere at 10 and a half, do yourself a favor, take him. Also at the 13 and a half, I really like it as well. When you're looking at how high it gets, it's at 39, 49 and a half, 50 yards. 50 yards and his regular line is at 14. Take it. Take it. Do yourself a favor. Take that one, right? We'll even build a lay at the end of it. We'll have James Cook on there. We'll have Jerry Jeudy on there. We'll have Dak Prescott on there and Christian McCaffrey. I'll send it over to you guys. It'll also be on my Instagram. So going into it, that was, I believe it was the last of the 10 o'clock. No, we've got Seahawks, Steelers. All right. So we've got the Seahawks and the Steelers. Looking at that one, I didn't really like it too much. Like going into it, it was a little iffy. I like Pittsburgh winning, right? Pittsburgh has that new secondary out there that Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp are gonna have to work on. Honestly, I really don't like. I love JSN, Ohio State fan, huge JSN fan. I really feel like he's one of the best receivers that are coming out there. I really feel like he's going to be one of the top fantasy receivers out there this year. But this matchup isn't very good for him. It's not the best for him. So if he does steer away this matchup, like by all means, right? It's a great feat. But I don't like him against Pittsburgh. I really don't like him going up, and then just the amount of yards that he has is it has to be somewhere around 60, 68, 69, right? Let's see. Jackson is at 64 and a half, 65 yards. That's tough. It's going to be tough, especially against, you got Pittsburgh out there. You got Jalen Ramsey out there. You've got some very good defense. So I see Pittsburgh winning. I see Pittsburgh really putting the Seahawks in the dust. 0-2 start for Seattle. Gonna be tough to get out of that one. But honestly, there's gonna be a lot of good teams starting 0-2, and we're gonna go into that a little bit deeper as we go along, right? So I've got Pittsburgh in this one. I don't have any plays for this game. Yeah, I literally didn't put anything in. This game is really hard to call. It's just like that Cincinnati Jacksonville game where even the Baltimore Browns game where you don't want to risk. It's a lot of risk. It's a lot more risk than reward, right? So it's a very risky game. But I have the Steelers at home. I'm taking the home team. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers against Seattle. I'm really telling. I can see Aaron Rodgers lighting it up this year after what I've seen in the first game. So Pittsburgh is going to dominate this game. I don't see them covering. They could cover 2.5. I could see them covering 2.5. So Pittsburgh minus 2.5. Aaron Rodgers, let's say 2 touchdowns, right? We'll run that, but honestly, this is a game you want to stay away from unless you're a fan and you want to watch it, right? So last 10 o'clock game, dipping into the 1 o'clock games, but let's go over a recap of what we have so far. We had Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown against Washington. That was a huge parlay that we really, a huge prop pick that we really like. Dak Prescott on 2 touchdown passes. I also like Russell Wilson on 30 plus pass attempts. He's going to be playing from behind in this game. We have Travis Etienne, Jacksonville, Cincinnati. I've got Cincinnati winning the game, but Jacksonville's going to have to incorporate their RB1 into the game somehow, playing from behind. I see 14.5 receiving yards for Travis Etienne. And then Detroit against Chicago. Detroit's really going to come out swinging. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get the majority of the yards. You could see a David Montgomery touchdown, but me personally, my favorite pick is Jahmyr Gibbs, 24.5 receiving yards. We're going to go over on that one. And then we've got Kyron Williams, Rams, Tennessee. I've got the Kyron Williams anytime touchdown out there. We also have Matt Stafford on the yards with both of his receivers looking at longest receptions at 25 yards, 21 yards, right? I can really see Matthew Stafford coming out and having some fun with his receivers in this game against Tennessee. New England against Miami is just going to be a blowout. I think Drake May is going to blow out the Dolphins. I really don't see anything happening with the Dolphins. They will not move. The Dolphin right now is out of water, and it's just not coming through, right? So I've got Jalen Waddle under 46.5 receiving yards, and in that game I've got Jason Butte over 36.5 receiving yards. So over on the New England receiver, under on the Miami receiver named Jalen Waddle, right? Next game, we've got CMC, San Francisco, taking on New Orleans. Now, New Orleans is in no position to beat anyone, even if that team has a backup quarterback. San Francisco is going to dominate this game, and it's going to be heavy on the shoulders of Christian McCaffrey. I've got Christian McCaffrey sitting at 78.5 rush yards. That's my lock. That is a complete lock for the game. I can see him having over 100 total yards. Do yourself a favor, even if it's at 81.5, take it. Take that one. CMC is safe, right? James Cook, anytime touchdown. We also had him on 10.5 receiving yards. That line has since gone up to 13.5. Still take it. Still take it. He's gonna do well. He always does well against the Jets, and the Jets cannot defend the running back, and they've repeated it over and over again. I've said it multiple times last year. It's gonna happen again this year. Lamar Jackson, 39.5 rushing yards against Cleveland. Expect Myles Garrett to be in that pocket a lot, disrupting the pocket. NFC North game, it may not be as much of a blowout as you may see it to be. Baltimore's going to win the game, but overall I can see Lamar Jackson running around a lot. And then going into it, we've got the 1 p.m. games, right? We've got those 1 p.m. games. We're going straight into Denver against Indy, right? Indianapolis with Daniel Jones. Now, I'm going to say something right now. Denver did not have a good performance. Bo Nix threw 2 interceptions against Tennessee. Cortland Sutton failed to go over his yards. You have no one playing tight end. No one's playing tight end for the Broncos right now. And RJ Harvey is, getting his feet wet as it goes along, right? You've got J.K. Dobbins not being used in the best way. I just feel like the Broncos had a terrible game against Tennessee. And then on the flip side, Indy had a great game. Indy just overall did amazing. They won their home game, 22 of 29, very efficient, right? Jonathan Taylor coming back. He's coming back into that RB1 number one guy, right? But there's one person, and all AFC West teams, I'll tell you right now, do not guard the tight end, right? They do not guard their tight ends. The AFC West teams are very horrible at giving up receiving yards to tight ends, right? And we're going to see right now what this tight end did against Miami. 7 for 76. This rookie is on fire. This guy is complete rookie of the year. Overall, this guy is going to take the Colts to the playoffs, maybe even win that division, right? The Colts are looking very good right now. This guy coming out of Penn State is a Swiss Army knife, like you may say. He blocks, he catches, he's in the clutch. 10.9 average in his first game. But let's go back into his NCAA career, right? You got 8 for 146, 17 for 224, 8 for 127, 8 for 102, 7 for 80. This guy is a monster. Tyler Warren is about to show the NFL who Tyler Warren is against the Broncos. I feel like the Colts are going to sneak one in. This is the big upset of the week. If you're going player picks, if you're going team picks, money lines, Indy money line is the hit. Take Indy money line all the way. Run with it, but take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. Indy money line is going to hit the bank. Denver's going to start 1-1. The Chargers are going to be 2-0. The Raiders are going to be 1-1. And Kansas City, we might start 0-2, right? But at the end of the day, the AFC West always runs through Arrowhead, right? So going into it, Denver's going to take a big L today, on Sunday, against Indy. Next game, we got Carolina and Arizona. Now, Carolina and Arizona. Oh, in the Denver game, too. In the Denver game, we also have a fade that we're going with. We are fading Cortland Sutton, 62.5 receiving yards. Now, we had him at 60.5, and we faded that one. We're going to fade 62.5 100% because of the fact that I just don't see them playing very well against Indy's corners. Indy's corners are very good. The corners for Indy and Tennessee are, amongst the best out there, right? But I see Sutton having a hard time. Really, Bo Nix having a hard time. Sophomore slump. I cannot see him hitting this 62.5. Sutton on the under on this one. I really like it. I love it out there. So Sutton for sure. And then going into the next game, like we said, Panthers-Cardinals. Panthers-Cardinals here. That one, we've got the Cardinals. My biggest one for that is going to be Kyler Murray on the rush yards. Kyler Murray is going to run about 24.5 rush yards. That's very low. That is very low considering that I believe he ran for more than that in the first game. 7 carries for 38 yards against New Orleans, right? And yes, I understand Carolina does have a better defense than New Orleans, but I saw the Carolina game. We were big on the Chuba Hubbard play. I can see Carolina just, not doing very well. Bryce Young is not there yet with the receivers he has out there. McMillan, we're going to go under on McMillan for sure. But right here, we're going over on the Kyler Murray rushing yards at, what is Kyler Murray? 24.5, 25 rushing yards. That's going to hit. And then we've got the under on T-Mac. T. McMillan, we have him at 60.5. He may have gone up. If that's the case, still take that. Slam that under. 57.5. Right? We have him at 57.5. So he went lower. Right? So if you see him anywhere at 60.5, 61 yards, take him on the under. Even take him on the under right here. I don't see Bryce Young getting very good with you got some good corners in Arizona too. You've got a very good pass defense in Arizona. So I don't see McMillan doing very much. Thielen doing very much. It's going to be a lot of pass game to Chuba Hubbard, and maybe even an interception by Bryce Young. I can see Arizona handling this game on the shoulders of Kyler Murray and his rush yards. Right. So we're taking Kyler Murray rush yards, 25, and then we're going into the. Let's go into Philly and the Chiefs, right? So that's the last. Wow, there's only 3 1 o'clock games. Okay, so Philly and the Chiefs. This is a game I don't really like to bet on because I'm very biased. I don't like betting on my team very much. Kansas City fan, right? Super Bowl matchup, Super Bowl rematch, but we're back home. We are back home, and that's a big deal, right? We were able to stop Saquon in the Super Bowl. That's a big deal, right? I mean, yeah, Jalen Hurts lit us up. He really did, and he may end up doing it again, right? Devontae Smith, big target out there. After not hitting his line against the Cowboys, I can see him really trying to pick apart, just like the Chargers did, using multiple receivers out there. So I can really see Dotson having a big game, or who's the yeah, Dotson having a big game out there, because our 1 and 2 corners are very good, but as you go down the depth chart, it's not as good, right? But I like the Chiefs covering in this game, covering the spread plus 1.5. Maybe winning this game, right? We're still at even money. It's not a blowout like everyone thinks it should be, right? Everyone out there is looking at Philadelphia with the win. Philadelphia here, Philadelphia there. Saquon is going to take over. If they beat us that much in the Super Bowl, this line should be a little bit different. And especially being that your matchup predictor, according to ESPN Analytics, favors Kansas City, right? Injury report, everything included. I do not feel safe picking the Eagles. And that's not me talking as a fan. That's me talking as a football fan, right? I'm looking at it as Kansas City may sneak out with a win. I would take under 46.5. I don't really see it being very big of a score, but yeah, I like Kansas City here. Even though I'm a Kansas City fan, right? You could take that. You could take what I said. You could throw it in the trash if you want, but I can see Kansas City winning here. So going into it, digging down to our last few games here, we've got Atlanta, Minnesota, and this is one of my favorite games. Honestly, this is one of my favorite games because of the fact that the way Atlanta looked in a loss looked completely different than the way Minnesota looked in a win, right? Atlanta is going to lay down the smack. Honestly, they are going to smack Minnesota. I can see them winning by -3.5. I can see them winning by 7. I can see them winning by 1,000,000. Atlanta's going to win this game. I don't see why Minnesota is favored. I really don't understand it because Atlanta just went in on a division matchup. Basically, they played the division winner, and they lost. I mean, but they had a good game. Bijan Robinson is going to dominate Minnesota. I could see the Bijan Robinson touchdown. I could see Kyle Pitts on receiving yards. Minnesota did not guard the tight end very well. Whoever it was in tight end in Chicago, right? So I could see Kyle Pitts on big reception yards. I could see the Bijan Robinson touchdown, and I could see Atlanta winning by 10 points, right? This is just something where take that money line. That money line's been dropping ever since it started. It started at 185. It'll likely drop down to 125 by the time the games play. But take it. Take it right now. Take it right now. Slam it. Slam Atlanta money line. Slam Indy money line. And throw Detroit in there. All three, right? Do yourself a favor. Make yourself some money, right? That's where we're going with Atlanta. That's how much I really feel about Hotlanta, right? So we're going into it. Atlanta's not going to lose 2. J.J. McCarthy's not going to win 2. We're not going to see that happening. So take Atlanta. Do yourselves a favor. Make them pay for putting Minnesota as a favorite. All right. Digging into these Monday night games. Now, we've already gone through Sunday. Going into the last 2 Monday night games here. I've got Tampa Bay at Houston. right? Be careful with this game. Houston is not a slouch, right? They played the Rams very well defensively. But overall, I want to say Tampa Bay will come through. I want to say Emeka Egbuka will hit his yards. Egbuka, we have him at 59.5 receiving yards, so we have him at 60. I'm taking the Egbuka receiving yards. I'm running with that. 60, Ohio State, very big receiving school, wide receiver university, some may say, right? I always say. But Egbuka is no slouch, right? And he had a lot of time with Baker, and they look like they have very much chemistry. I can see him honestly being the next Puka in the NFL. I really see Egbuka being that Puka Nakua, right? So looking at it, I can see him on 70. I can see him, what is he at, 60? I can see him up to 75 receiving yards with Egbuka, and the way Tampa Bay is going to be passing the ball, especially against Houston. And then going into our last game, Monday night, 7 p.m., the big bad Chargers against the Raiders, right? Now, I want to say this is going to be a blowout as well. The Raiders got Geno Smith. They've got Geno Smith. They've got a good head coach, and they've got, some sort of little spark going, right? Now, it's not going to be enough for them to win the game, but overall, I feel like the Chargers will be there. The Chargers will be there, and they'll be, there at the end of the season. At the end of the season, knocking on the door of the division, and they all come because of these games right here. The Chargers are going to dominate this game. They're going to go into Vegas, and they're going to win this game with Herbert's arm. And I really like Quentin Johnston in this game at 43.5 receiving yards on the over. Now, let's see where he's at right now. But I really like that one. You may look at the history with Lad McConkey. Lad McConkey is their guy, but his history with the Raiders, against the Raiders, is not very great. But I can also see Lad McConkey at least going for, this is the one I usually go for, as the longest reception. His longest reception is beautiful every time. He hit it against Kansas City because it was sitting at 21.5, right? So we hit the Lad McConkey. I love the longest reception for Lad McConkey. Someone on the Raiders secondary is going to fall asleep, and this guy's going to get a big play, right? So that's a good one. I really like that one. But I really like the QJ, the Quentin Johnston receiving yards. He's going to be a big part of this offense, even though he misses the ball. He drops a lot of passes. I can see him being a very big part of this offense. And then we've got the Jacoby Myers fade. We are fading Jacoby Myers at 57.5 simply because of the fact that he does not want to play for the Raiders. He just doesn't want to play, right? He did good against New England. Yes, it's the team that he played against before. This is the team that he came from. But the Chargers, looking at what they did to Kansas City and the way that secondary played, I really don't see Jacoby Myers going over anything over 50. Honestly, at 57.5, that's where I'm taking him on the under. I'm taking the Jacoby Myers under. I'm taking Justin Herbert. Fantasy points, let's take fantasy points on that one. But overall, if I'm beating the Raiders and I'm beating them by double digits and I'm whooping, I'm going to feed Omarion Hampton the ball. I'm going to get this rookie some confidence, right? And that's the thing that I love about Harbaugh on the Chargers side, is that he's big on giving rookies confidence. He's big on giving them the confidence to, go forward. May not hit the rushing yards, but that touchdown, I feel like it's a lock. I feel like Prize Picks feels like it's a lock. That's why they have it as Goblin. But overall, the Omarion Hampton touchdown will hit as well. So, going into it, that was our last game, right? We're going to go ahead and make a lay out of our favorite plays, right? We're going to go ahead and build something out there that we can win, right? I'll send you off with a winning slip. Also, you can follow my Instagram. On the story, I have slips and links from all three platforms that I go off of. So basically, you have Underdog Fantasy links, you've got Sleeper Fantasy links, and then you've got your Prize Picks links out there as well. We do moneyline bets out there as well from Fliff, but they are matching, for the most part, they match Caesar Sportsbook and, what you have out there in Vegas. So we're all over the place. We have a lot going on. Overall, I want to send you guys off with a bet. I'm going to load up the prize picks right now, and then we're just going to basically run off of that, right? So we're going to drop, let's say we're going to do a $15. We're going to do a $15, and we're going to see what it makes out with our favorite plays out there. So let's go into it. Should have the 25. Bam. All right, perfect. We have a few plays out there already, right? The Butte play, 36.5. We've got the James Cook play at 10.5. Jerry Jeudy, 56.5. And Travis Etienne at 14.5, right? We also have the Christian McCaffrey play with Travis Kelce, 78.5 yards with the half yard for Kelce. So now we're going to tear up our favorite plays, right? So what did we say our favorite play was for the day? We said Dak was a big one. Dak does not have 2 touchdowns, right? So any other platform you see, Underdog may have it. We should have probably dumped into Underdog. Let's see. Go into this one. Let's see. We have Dak. Dak is, oh, there he is. Bam, that one right there. Let's clear this. Let's clear this. Once we find the X, there we go. All right, perfect. We'll build something out right here. All right, so we've got Dak Prescott. And then on Prize Picks, what we'll do is instead of Dak, we'll go with the Russ pass attempts. I like that. I really like it. Honestly, I can see him going over that against Dallas. Dallas is going to be whooping, right? So pass attempts on Russell Wilson was another one that we really liked. Another one that we really liked out there was Christian McCaffrey on the rush yards. I did say, just to take the rush yards for him. 81.5. No matter how high it gets, up until 95. Up until 95, take it. We did say Jerry Jeudy was a big one that we liked. We like Jerry Jeudy on there. We're gonna take him at 55.5. What else did we say? We also said that we liked Kyler Murray, James Cook. Let's go James Cook. James Cook on the touchdown. He's at 1.5, 13.5 receiving yards. Take that. They're playing with that line right now. So be sure to take that. That right there, so far, it's the 15 for 150, right? You're hitting those 4, right? And then we're going to add, you know what, just to make it, let's make it for sure, right? Let's make it for sure. We're going to start getting into some goblins here. 9.5. 15.5. So we're taking Etienne and Cook on those receiving yards. Jeudy, McCaffrey, and Wilson. Now, if you are feeling iffy on the McCaffrey pick, which a lot of people have been, take him on the lower. Take him on 70. He's going to hit 70 yards for a fact, right? So what does that change your payout to? 15 for 105 instead of 150, right? So you're basically taking locks here. These are all locks, right? Kyron. Let's see where Kyron is. Let's see what that makes it. 210. 352 on the power play. Take this. Take it for what it is. Even if, all right, let's go Wilson. Let's go safer. Let's go even safer. Russell Wilson. Oh, they had a goblin for that. Okay, this is what we're going to stay with. This is what we're going to take. This is the pick for at the end of the show, we're going to give you a pick, and this is what we want to do moving forward. This board right here has everything you need to know. It is up on my Instagram. I'll throw it up on X as well. Follow at JoeyBets47. The links are all in my bio or in the comment section, so you guys can check it out. This is going to be the six leg parlay that we run, just for the sake of the people, right? These are our favorite picks. We've got Russell Wilson over 30 pass attempts against the Cowboys. I could really see it happening. The Cowboys are going to be ahead of the game for the most part. You can see Russell Wilson is going to need to use his arm moving forward in this game. You got Jerry Jeudy against Baltimore. Looking at Jerry Jeudy's line against Baltimore, he does very well. He catches the ball very well. And Cleveland also will play down in this game. They're going to play down. Baltimore's going to have a healthy lead in this game. And then going into last season, what we saw at Baltimore, you had 8 receptions for 79 yards, and then you had 13 receptions for 63 yards, right? So Jerry Jeudy's going to hit over that 55.5 that we have. We've got James Cook at 13.5 receiving yards. Now, they've been playing with it. They had him sitting at 10.5 to start. James Cook is not going to go under 20 receiving yards against the Jets. The Jets do not defend the receiving back very well. Take James Cook on the 14 yards. Travis Etienne as well. Cincinnati's going to be up in this game. Jacksonville's going to be playing behind. They are going to want their RB1 to get involved in the offense. So you want to see receiving yards coming out of Travis Etienne. You'll dump down, pass the ball, right? Take out the Kyron Williams play, right? Stick with Christian McCaffrey. You've got Christian McCaffrey. Now, I would love to take him over 82 yards, 96 yards, 99 yards. Now, what we want to do is win. We want to win this. We want to be 100% sure. Now, a lot of people have been scared of taking Christian McCaffrey, which is fine. The quarterback's not in. For a fact, he's going to get 70. That is the safe play. For a fact, he's going to get 70. Now, all these 5 players hit. That's $15 for $225 on the line, right? So we're going to go and lock that in. I'm going to show you guys that we're going to lock that in, right? And then we're going to go over a couple picks that we have out there so far, right? So my lineups, this is the one that we cooked up together. The 15 for 225. We've got Russell Wilson on the pass attempts, Jerry Jeudy on yards, James Cook on receiving yards. Well, basically, you've got Jeudy, Cook, and Etienne on receiving yards, and then you've got Christian McCaffrey with the 70 rushing yards, right? 15 for 225. A lot of money out there, right? We also have this 15 for 150 that we put up. Kayshon Boutte, 36.5 receiving yards. James Cook at 10.5 receiving yards. Jerry Jeudy at 56.5. And then Travis Etienne at 14.5 receiving yards, right? And then we have the safe play, which is going to be the CMC 78.5 rush yards with the Travis Kelce free play out there. That's 25 for 75. At least we get the 75 back, right? Going into a couple of sleeper picks that I have out there, there's a couple of active slips that I have. We have winners. Like I said, we have winners. We do baseball as well. Keep an eye on it. JoeyBets47 on Instagram, right? Active, right now we have a 10 for 300 play with the Jaden Daniels free play on pass yards. We've got Jahmyr Gibbs at 24.5 receiving yards. We've got the Dak Prescott 2 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy again, 56.5 receiving yards. Patty Mahomes on the rush yards, 21. And then Tyler Warren is going to get his yards at 44.5. Indy over Denver. We've got a lot of out there as far as money lines as well. So we have a pick out there right now. Oh, no. We have a pick out there right now, basically, that shows we have a few money lines out there. We have Green Bay to cover 2.5. I got Green Bay covering 2.5. We've also got Atlanta, San Francisco, the Cowboys, and the Lions winning, right? Atlanta is going to whoop. I just feel it. San Francisco winning the Saints, the Cowboys beating the Giants, and then you've got Detroit beating the Bears. All right. So we got all those picks out there. I hope you guys take one. Like I always say, take a look, take a pick, and have an amazing day. Catch me on JoeyBets47 on X, on Instagram, and just keep it up. Send some comments my way. Whatever you guys want. We're just here to win some money, right? So you guys have an amazing day.